Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this isn't a sponsored video. This is me replying to something I saw posted on my Facebook timeline. And, it's 10:30 on Saturday. Wanted to get started a lot earlier, but noise all day, and then we've had some pretty wicked storms throughout the day, some nasty weather down here. And I came across this and I'm like, I gotta make a video. I stopped reading a little way through and I'm like, let me just try to make this into a video. See what I can do with it. And it was a link to The Guardian, and it was posted today, Saturday the 9th, and it's an article, a letter to my mother. I'll be relieved when you're in your coffin. The letter you always wanted to write. Most people struggle to face the truth. They keep going back, trying to make it better, trying to make their parents understand. They go into therapy and try to work on themselves. I went to therapy too. But all it did was confirm what I already knew. See, I already hated you. I don't know how young I was when I stopped loving you. 8 or 9, probably. One of those ugly ages when you're no longer a cute little kid, but you're not an attractive young woman yet either. When only your mother loves you. There must have been a day, an event, probably one of those mad screaming rants you would go on, 'cause I'd been scratching my nose, or I'd looked at you funny. Or you'd ask me a question and my answer hadn't quite hit that tone of cheery obedience that you expected. I spent so much of my time trying to figure out what set you off. But the truth is, it was mostly nothing to do with me. I was a convenient punching bag. Maybe someone had been nasty to you at work, or accused you of skipping in front of them in the bus queue. And then you'd come in and wait for me to do something you could plausibly get angry about. And suddenly I'd be flying across the room, your hands at my shoulder, your spittle-feckled face white with rage. Inches from my face, you awful, awful person. There was no name for it, not when I grew up. The insane rages followed by days of silent treatment, the total control over what I wore, who I saw, where I went, and the discouragement of any learning of any life skills or making any sort of move towards independence. It was too weird for people to understand we lived on an estate where drug addicts let their small kids roam the streets at all hours, where there were houses you could go into and find dog shit on the floor and no food in the fridge. I was fed and clothed and never got into any trouble. Abuse like yours didn't register, but it was still abuse. I kept up the relationship with you after I moved out and while my dad was still alive, so that I could see him. I knew if I broke with you precisely what sort of hell you'd put him through for ever coming to meet me alone. He made plans to leave you, did you know? He wanted to take me with him, but he was afraid he wouldn't get custody. He only told me after I'd left home. Once he died, I told myself I was staying in contact to save myself from feeling guilty when you were dead. After all, you were my mother. But sometimes I'd hear about someone estranged from the family and I'd feel jealous. I was no good to you anyway. You needed to keep up the appearance of a loving mother, so you had to see me now and again. But other than that, I was no fun anymore because I'd learned how not to react to you. You couldn't hurt me, it frustrated you. And after a day or two with us, you would want to go home. You overplayed your hand in the end. There was a level of grief I was prepared to put up with. But then you started on my child, and that was it. I played the part, though, and behaved like the perfect host through the rest of your visit. I even kissed you goodbye at the airport, but as I watched you walk to the gate, I swore the next time I would see you was in your coffin. And I felt nothing but relief. Anonymous. This is printed in The Guardian. And I will treat this as if this person wrote in. Because what I would tell Anonymous is, you're letting your fucking father off the hook. Okay? Your father gaslighted you. No father is going to let his daughter be treated like that. I guarantee this girl, as evil as her mother is, her father was pulling the fucking strings. They survive on your pity. The covert narc depends on your pity. You notice he didn't say any plan. Oh, I had these fantasy plans of leaving, but I was afraid I'd lose you. So I had to let you just keep getting abused. But I can't still see you now because I want to tell this woman, you don't see your father. You don't see your father as a covert narcissist, dependent on your pity. Dependent on your pity. The second thing I would tell Anonymous, I would have ended it instead of saying, but as I watched you walk to the gate, I swore the next time I would see you was in your coffin and felt nothing but relief. Now I understand for writing effect, it's a great image. But I would have left it as something like, but as I watched you walk to the gate, I swear the next time, this would be the last time I ever see you, as I wouldn't even want to see you in your coffin. Why go and mourn such a miserable person? Why? For who? For your father? The man who let you be abused by this woman for decades and decades and decades, to the point now where the abuse is carried on to your grandchildren? Oh, but he was gonna pull you out, right? He was gonna run away with you. He didn't tell you that as a child, though. He didn't tell you that till after you moved out, until you were gaining some independence, and he used the pity to keep you anchored in. That's what I would tell Anonymous. As far as the abuse from her mother, I could have written all of this. The only difference is I knew I didn't love my mother from the moment she broke me at 4 years old, 3.5 years old. the violence, the rages. There's no way her father didn't know this was going on. Raised with no social skills, no anything, and even though she still gained some sort of independence, here's dear old dad making sure she don't get too far away. Oh, because I always wanted to leave and take you with me, but I'm afraid I'd lose you forever. So better to let the bitch just fucking brutalize you to this day, to the point where she's doing it to your kids. And now you're at the point where cut her off. The next time I'll see you, you'll be in the coffin. I wouldn't even show up personally. So I read that. There was a link on my Facebook, and it was very personal to me. It rang. Because for years, I thought it was only my mother. And I didn't see the covert narcissism in my father, the use of the pity and the poor me of him. Like, I always knew he was full of shit about a lot of things, but I thought he gave a shit about me for all his fucking, for a long time. That's what got her fucked up. Because you get yourself, why the covert narc gets you is because the covert narc makes you believe that they love you and they don't. So, the story was very similar, and I had to make a video about it. So, let me know what you think. And again, I'm sorry for the delay, but these guys were just making noise out there all day, and the weather's just been atrocious, and it's going into the other ear, the left ear. It'll be gone, but I'm fine. So, let me know what you think about the video in the comments section below. And if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it surviving, growing, and expanding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.